Hello and welcome to my part 2 of my survival guide for hunters in patch 5.4.8. I'm going to talk to you about snapshotting Serpent Sting, single target and AoE, Black Arrow with Assurance of Consequence in normal Warforged, Heroic or Heroic Warforged, your 4-set explosive shot, AoE rotation, and your best in slot gear and your alternative choices. Right, first of all I'm going to talk to you about how to make the most of a fully trinket procced Serpent Sting. How you do this is a little bit weird and you might feel quite uncomfortable with it at first, but if you're running with the Thrill of the Hunt, which you should be a survival, and also 4-set bonus, which you should be at higher end, then it's a lot easier to do with nice RNG. Like, sometimes it won't work, sometimes it will, but it's a nice way to get a lot of damage out of Serpent Sting. Now, for some of you that don't know, Cobra Shot automatically refreshes Serpent Sting. So during your trinket procs, like, you're allowed to use Cobra Shot to refresh the duration of Serpent Sting. Like, that's not a problem. But the trick is to getting the most out of the damage is to, once your trinket procs have dropped, is to not use Cobra Shot. It focus starves you quite a lot, and the longer the duration, or the longer time you can get out of your Serpent Sting, the more damage it's going to do, because Cobra Shot won't refresh it with an unbuffed agility amount. It will just remain with the trinket procs if you don't refresh it with Cobra Shot. I'm gonna give you an example of what I mean, because it can be quite hard to explain. Like, I'm gonna proc my trinkets, get Serpent Sting up. Right now I have both my trinket procs. I'm allowed to use Cobra Shot, but as soon as this trinket here drops, I'm not going to use Cobra Shot anymore. I'm going to focus start. Well, it procced again, so I'm allowed to now. But the trick is once it drops, then no longer will I use Cobra Shot until I can, like, afford not to. When I have my Thrill of the Hunt procs, then I can just spam those. But see, I got a long duration out of that, so I had a lot of extra damage from not refreshing the duration on it. I missed out on an explosive shot, but I didn't miss out on a lock and load proc, so it's not really a problem. The way you make the most of it is pretty much just RNG. You need to be as close to 100% focus as you can at the time of your trinkets running out, so that after they've run out and you're not using Cobra Shot to build focus, you're just using arcane shots or explosive shots. So your focus is going to, like, get drained quite slowly, but if you're using Thrill of the Hunt, arcane shot only costs 10 focus, and it's on a free charge. So, and every attack you do has a chance to grant you another 3 charges. So in the best case scenario, you can go the whole time without ever having to use 30 focus on an arcane shot, or in a different situation you'll never have to use an explosive shot that costs 25 focus. If you get good RNG on your 4-set, you can just keep spamming the lock and load procs, which are free of charge. And these two things can easily cover 15 seconds duration, because that's how long Serpent Sting lasts. It's only 15 seconds, so the longer time you can get out of not using Cobra Shot after your trinkets have dropped, the more damage you're going to get out of it. The same rule very much applies for your AoE rotation as well. Multi-shot, for some people who don't know, applies Serpent Sting to your target whenever you use it as survival. So we're going to use exactly the same rule as we did for the single target as we do for the multi-target, sorry. This does involve using Thrill of the Hunt, because you should be as survival, and I'll teach you a little bit later, but it also involves using explosive shot. But pretty much all you have to do, you do exactly the same thing. The Serpent Sting works in exactly the same way as multi-shot. I have 5 seconds left on my Vicious Trinket. I apply the multi-shot, so snapshot all of my dots. Oh, nothing happened again. So I got another trinket proc. You shouldn't really try and focus starve yourself because there's no need, but apply multi-shot just before Vicious runs out and continue your single target rotation. The 2 targets that you're not attacking will stay with the fully buffed Serpent Sting dot because you're not reapplying multi-shot, you're not spamming it. And you're not using Cobra Shot on the target, so they'll never refresh with like an unbuffed one, like the main target you will. The only time you should refresh multi-shot, refresh Serpent Sting with multi-shot is when it's just dropped off the target, because it won't be doing any Serpent Sting damage. But that's pretty much it, really. Just make sure not to spam multi-shot unless you have your trinkets up. If you have both of your trinkets up, like for me it's quite easy to see when I do, then literally just spam all 3 of your charges on multi-shot and stop doing that as soon as your trinkets drop, because the multi-shot combined with the improved Serpent Sting hit combined with the Serpent Sting dot and all of your trinkets and scope and rapid fire, synapse springs, all of that stuff is going to increase the amount of damage that multi-shot actually does, or like all of those effects do at the same time. So it's very easy for survival hunters to get high AoE burst damage. It's just keeping high AoE sustain damage which is a little bit harder and what some people don't understand. Alright, so now that I've spoken about Serpent Sting, I'm going to talk about Black Arrow. And if you're using a Heroic Warforged, Heroic, or even normal Warforged Assurance, you'll notice that the cooldown on Black Arrow is dramatically reduced compared to if you weren't using it. This does play into our favour quite a lot. It gives us quite a lot of freedom when it comes to Black Arrow, and it generally calms the class down quite a lot, because survivor hunters have been victim to quite a lot of button bloat. So if it just slows down the rotation, it's quite nice, and it gives us a lot more time to think about what we're going to do like 10 seconds before it happens. For me right now, Black Arrow is on a 15.6 second cooldown, and the duration of the shot lasts for 20 seconds. I am using Heroic Warforged Assurance Consequence. I'm level 588. After this patch, you've been able to upgrade 4 times now, which is really nice. This means that I have a downtime of 4.4 seconds, where Black Arrow will be off of cooldown, but the duration will not have ended yet. Now this is like a really nice quality of life change when you get the Assurance Consequence, but I'm going to talk you through how to make the most of this change. So on the pool you'll apply your Black Arrow. You should maybe wait a little bit and get it with your trinket procs, because it is a snapshot dot, and because it lasts 20 seconds with nothing to refresh other than itself, it's an awesome snapshot dot. But as you can see there, it came off of cooldown before the duration had ended on the current target. Normally you would wait for the duration to get down to around 1 second and then reapply it, because there are abilities you can fit in rather than applying Black Arrow straight away, which will be a damage increase. But as you could have probably seen, I had a trinket proc up at that time, and the proc wasn't going to be up when my Black Arrow was finishing its duration on the current target. So I reapplied it so that I had another 20-second Black Arrow up with a 15,000 agility buff from my Assurance Consequence trinket proc. This is the only time you'll want to refresh it before the duration actually runs out, because it is such a long duration, and there's nothing to refresh it other than its own recast. But normally you would want to wait until the duration was around about 1 second or half a second left before reapplying it. Striving to get as close to 100% uptime as you possibly can is the main goal with Black Arrow, because it procs lock and load, as you can see now, which if you've watched my first part of this guide, you'll know that that's a big damage increase for us. But that's about it with Black Arrow, really. Alright, next I'm going to talk to you about how you can use Explosive Shot mixed with the 4-piece in an AoE rotation. This is probably one of the most RNG based things you'll actually do as survival. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it works insanely well, sometimes it doesn't work at all, but hey ho, I'm going to show you it anyway. Now before I get started, I'm going to read to you what the 4-set bonus is for the people who don't know. Explosive shot casts have a 40% chance not to consume a charge of lock and load. This means that when you get lock and load, you get 3 explosive shots. 1 that's on the normal cooldown, and 2 that are completely free of charge, and they're both on a charge. So what this 4-set does is you have a 40% chance of not consuming one of those charges, meaning that you have, in theory, a chance of casting infinite amount of explosive shots in a row. You know, obviously it's never going to be infinite because, you know, there are percentages involved, and it just won't. But realistically, you can get 20 or so off. I think the most I've ever had is 26. So it's easily doable. And the fact that you'll have your Black Arrow up as you're getting all of these lock and load procs, if your lock and load does last its full duration, which I can't remember how long, but I think it's like 15 seconds or something, then you have a chance, lasts for 12 seconds, then you have a chance of your Black Arrow actually proccing lock and load again, so that it will last for even longer. You'll get another 3 charges. The charges will reset midway through you casting all of your lock and loads, so that's really nice, and that's awesome RNG, but it's very rare that it happens. Okay, so I'm going to get a proc of lock and load, get my Black Arrow up. Now what you'll want to do, and what this involves, is you using Explosive Shot, the charge system, wisely. So you'll use, what I tend to do is I use 2 charges, so 1, 2, okay, I didn't get good RNG that time, so I couldn't actually do it. I'll wait for the next load of lock and loads to come around.
I cannot cast that yet. Not ready yet. That ability is not
Should be coming any second now. Good. Well, you're going to want to use 2 charges of lock and load on one target, 2 on another, then back to the same target, and again, and then again. If you get in that situation where you're not landing on your last target, then just use an arcane shot to reapply your hunter's mark or whatever. But what this does is it applies the explosive shot dot to 2 targets at the same time, meaning you're getting the damage from explosive shot of 2 stacks of the dot, or 2 ramp ups of the dot, on 2 targets at the same time. And usually 2 like ramp ups of explosive shot ticks for around maybe 150k, 175s, 200s if you're lucky. This is on 2 targets as well, so around 350k ticks on 2 targets. 400k in total, something like that, is going to be higher than you just doing it on one target of like 300k, 250k, something like that. But obviously this involves like huge amounts of RNG. So you know, it's not like reliable source of AoE. It's just something that you can do on top of your Serpent sting spreads and snapshotting Serpent stings that will improve your AoE damage. But like I've said a lot of times now, it's complete RNG, so it's not something you can rely on every single time. Alright, I'm going to quickly run you through your best in slot items. As of right now, I am very close to being fully BiS. I have all of the correct items, just not the correct versions of the items. I'm missing 2 heroic warforged items, my shaman's trinket and Thok neck, and then I'll be 100% best in slot. First and foremost, you want to get your 4-set bonus. You're going to do this by getting the set head, shoulders, chest and hands, and then for the off piece you're going to want the heroic warforged legs from Nourishen. For your neck you're going to want the neck from heroic Thok. Your back is obviously going to be your legendary cape. Next, the braces from Malkorok, the bow from Paragons of the Klaxi, your waist from Spoils of Pandaria, your boots from General Nazgrim, your ring 1 from Nourishen, ring 2 from Malkorok, trinket 1 from Shire of Pride, and trinket 2 from Dark Shamans. For survival there aren't like too many alternatives. You can have an alternative trinket, which is the ticking ebon detonator from Siegecrafter in place of your Harom's talisman, but it's not as good as Harom's talisman. You can get really nice RNG with it, like critting like 550k explosive shot ticks, which is batshit crazy, but it's not really worth it. The multi-strike does a lot of passive damage, and the prop from it is just 15,500 agility for 10 seconds, and it just stays at 15,000 rather than starting at 28 and going down to 0 over time. Rings, no. Leads, no. There aren't too many alternatives. Like, get the best gear you can, but this is the gear you want to aim for when you are clearing heroic weekly. Just optimizing now, min-maxing for the final push. But yeah, that's probably it for this guide. There's not really too much else to explain. I'm going to do another video soon about my whole UI and all of my WeChorus setups. So yeah, that's going to be quite in detail about how I get all of these to pop up, why you need them to pop up, etc. But if you liked this guide or any of my other videos, please feel free to like, comment what you want to see next, comment how I can improve, and subscribe if you want to see more of this.